guys, how's it going? It is Friday, the 13th. Yes, April 13th here. Friday 13th. Does that mean we're going to have some bad luck? Maybe some folks are going to have some bad luck because some big hail's going to happen today. Possibly good luck here on the restorations industry side of things. Got a lot to talk about today, guys. I have a new wireless mic, so we shouldn't be having any problems with me stepping on anything. But we're going to make sure before we get into the forecast, really emphasize, make sure those notification settings set up, all those push notifications, since there is that chance for a bunch of activity today in a whole variety of areas, some of which for the first time for this year. So really going to make sure you go into your desktop computer, go onto your account, go on to hailtrace.com, go bring up the notification options, go to notification settings, and volume low, huh? All right. Go to those notification settings and make sure you set up your different things here. Let me change my volume up real quick, guys. Hang on. Just one second. Alright. Is that a little bit better? A little higher? A little louder? Just, we got the new mic, so that kind of does things going on. So you said, all's fine, can hear fine, I can lip record, I'm okay. Still hear music. What? Shouldn't have any music playing right now. Sounds good? Okay. All right. So anyway, make sure those notification settings are set up. You guys have seen this a million times now. Just go on your push notification settings and select either your push notification to your phone, email, or to your desktop computer. All three, a combination of the two. Select those regions that you'd like to be notified for, whether it's for cities or for various states and or across the country. With that, I'm going to jump on and now going to show you guys the forecast itself. Turn volume down now. Okay. All right. So here's a forecast for today. Moving forward here, bringing it all up as it all just kind of comes down across my map here. All right. Yeah. So we have hail up to 3 inches possible here today, guys. A lot to take in. I know. A lot of numbers. Big area to look at. A lot of things to talk about. It's going to start after about 1 o'clock today, so it's going to be happening not too long after this video happens. We'll probably have some storms going up pretty soon here. I'm going to remove the comments. Should I remove the comments? Should I remove the comments, guys, off the screen? Or we good? I tried to make it so the map was just far enough away so the text didn't get too much in the way. I'm going to start from north to south with this, okay? A whole bunch to talk about. Whole bunch of different possibilities here. Starting in the north, we actually have a couple storms going on right now in South Dakota. I don't have that included in this map because that's just ongoing stuff. We had another storm early this morning go across Wisconsin with up to golf ball size hail. That's available. And we're going to remove the comments real quick. Chat's going away. There we go. And all right, there we go. Back to the map here. So what we're going to do from north to south, it looks like after about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, storms are going to form possibly very, very close to Omaha. They're going to form either just on top of you, just to the east, just to the south. They're going to go up pretty fast, and these are probably going to be pretty potent, possibly with some tornadoes embedded in there. And the fairly isolated storms, I have 15% right now for the Omaha area, again, after about 3, 4 o'clock. I'm going to have my local forecasts as well. These are going to happen, and they're going to kind of go northeast towards Des Moines later on this evening, probably 8, 9 o'clock, and then that's going to move on out and continue to the east, northeast for the rest of your day. Further south, we have a dry line pretty much right along where there's that sharp cutoff of all of my colors. Looks like the dry line's moving through Oklahoma City right now, and by the time it actually fires off, it'll be pretty close to Tulsa. I got 20% chance for Tulsa, 25% chance for Kansas City. I think storms, especially Kansas City, got 25% chances of hail. I think there's going to be quite a few isolated storms that are going to form in or around the region, probably just in between Topeka and Kansas City, so somewhere in here. They're going to form, and they're going to move to the northeast very rapidly, probably upwards of 50 miles an hour, and they're going to move possibly through the city. Again, hail up to 3-inch possible across Kansas City. Again, storms are going to form off that dry line, and we're going to move into the area. They're going to be fairly isolated, so it's 25% chance. I can't go much higher than that because it's not a guarantee they're going to get hit, but it looks like it's going to be pretty close to the area. And Kansas City especially hasn't seen anything yet this year, so anywhere pretty much north of like right here, all this is finally getting some storms happening this year. Okay, I have to look down on my phone to see the comments since I removed them off my screen. Whole bunch of stuff moving here. Okay, anyway, so further south now to the Tulsa area, it looks like storms are going to form the next couple hours. Between now and about 2 o'clock, I think we're going to see storms form along the dry line further south as well, right by Tulsa, down further south in just eastern Oklahoma, places like Tahlequah and stuff like that, and eventually even down towards the Dallas area. I think storms are going to form potentially on top of the Metroplex in about an hour or two, possibly as late as 3 o'clock. Storms forming possibly right on top of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. These are going to go up fast, and and that's why I have up to 3-inch hail possible, and I have the big hail pushed as close to that dry line as possible. Storms are going to go up, and they're probably going to get severe very quickly, so I have to not a lot of time for it to go up and kind of meander and then get big. I think it's going to go up and get big very quickly. So I think Tulsa and Dallas both at risk. I think Dallas is a better risk. The high-resolution models have been very consistent with storms forming basically on top of the city metroplex. So it's a matter of, I think Dallas is going to have a better chance than maybe Fort Worth just by a little bit, but I'm keeping it at that 25%. And these storms all are going to form. Other storms are going to form as well across Arkansas and into Louisiana, all of which, any of those storms, as they initially go up, have that chance of dropping upwards of baseball to 3-inch size hail. Other than that, it's going to start to get messy pretty quick in Arkansas and into Louisiana, so that hail risk goes away as the storms continue through this evening and get more and more muddled. I think there's going to be a pretty good tornado chance, but once the storms start to interact with each other, we're going to probably start seeing that hail threat get lower as storms move eastwards towards the Mississippi River. Okay. Let's see, is Oklahoma getting some hail today? Tulsa, hail dance. Yes, that hail dance is for all you guys that want to know anything up in here. I think the middle region here between the Oklahoma and Kansas border, so places just north of Joplin, up to just south of Kansas City, there's a possibility in this little circle here there might be no storms at all. So there might be all the storms that are down here and then all the storms that are up to the north, and this little middle section might have no hail at all whatsoever. If I could put a percentage on here, I'd put like a 5 just on the random spot on the border there between Kansas and Missouri. Just a little interesting note. And then even further south, so down here, Austin and San Antonio, those 5% for up to baseball size hail, all this is going to be going on and nothing's going to be happening down here. This, where the models are showing after about 11 o'clock tonight, storms are going to form, and they might form right over Austin, right over San Antonio, and then they're going to move to the south and east. And I have a 2% for Houston, mainly due to the fact that I think it'll be a line by the time they get to Houston itself. But that initial development, again, kind of like the whole story all the way up and down this dry line, the initial development can see some really big hail, and just where it's going to be happening, near Austin, near San Antonio, that chance is there. And I only have 5% right now, mainly because it showed up on the models this morning. Honestly, the Dallas area was not even in play until this morning when I looked, and I was like, oh, geez, okay, it looks like the dry line might fire right on top of them. So people are doing some serious hail dancing down DFW, and that's for sure. We're getting that chance in there as well. So that's an overview of everything that we have going on. I'm going to go into more local hail forecasts as well, into the various major city areas that are at risk today. And then I'm going to show the models, just give you guys a visual of what I've been trying to explain. Again, a lot going on. We will do any live coverage, of course, whenever anything comes up. So if it moves into a city, again, we're a little short-staffed today. Derek is down in Orlando right now doing a talk. He'll be back later on tonight, but that kind of cuts down our manpower just a little bit for the day. So I'm going to really hold off on live coverage unless it is like imminently about to hit Dallas, or imminently about to hit Tulsa, imminently about to hit insert various major city area here. And so that's just a little programming note, we're going to really kind of limit this live coverage to just over the cities, just because I'm probably going to have to be helping out quite a bit as well with Heather and Frank in terms of mapping and sending out those notifications and everything. So anyway, moving forward here, here's a local hail forecast. This is specifically for the Dallas area, so anywhere between 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock, that's when I expect storms to form and then move through. And once they move through, that first round moves through, that's going to be the dry line coming through. So after that, I don't think there's going to be any more storms. At maximum size up to baseballs, 25% chance, and then winds up to 70 miles per hour is possible. I don't think the wind is going to be that crazy for Dallas. I think the wind is going to be much crazier once you get into Arkansas and into eastern parts of Louisiana when the storms start to turn into a line later on this evening. For Tulsa, I think somewhere between 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock tonight. Again, possibly up to baseball size hail as well. Tulsa, further north towards Bartlesville, further south towards Muskogee. All that entire area is what I'm thinking. Any in that exact same time frame here. Chance of hail 20%. I think just that's specifically for the Tulsa metro itself. It's very possible that storms will be further south towards Muskogee, Fort Gibson, Tahlequah, that area, and not make it up to Tulsa, or it'll be Tulsa. And that's why I got that 20%. There's a level of uncertainty there. Wind driven up to 70 mile per hour winds. I know a lot of you guys, there's been almost exactly 10 years since we've had a major storm in Tulsa, so I know a lot of you guys are really hoping, doing your hail dances extra hard for this one. All right. Kansas City between about 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock, a little bit later than Tulsa and Dallas. So I'm saying, again, baseball size, 3-inch size hail for the Kansas City area. I think these isolated supercells that the models keep showing, I think these could be packing one hell of a punch. So the 3-inch hail up to some tornado threat as well. Chance of hail 25% and winds up to 70 miles per hour. Unless, of course, there's a tornado, then that changes everything. And Omaha, Nebraska between 4 and 7 p.m. So a little earlier than Kansas City, but a little later than Tulsa and the Dallas area. Max hail up to tennis balls, I think, for the Omaha area. I think it's I have 15% chance, because I think it's very possible that you'll be watching on the other side of the river in Iowa, these storms forming, and not over Omaha. But hey, you know what? It's going to be real close with this one. Omaha and Tulsa, I think, are going to be fair. Actually, Omaha and Dallas area, I think, will be very close to where the storms develop and where the city is. So it's going to be kind of threading the needle a little bit here, guys. And winds up to 70 miles per hour. It's very possible that all of these could get hit at the same time today, and that would be kind of chaotic. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's possible that 2 of these cities could be getting hit at the same time based on what the models are showing. We'll do our best to do the coverage of everything that we can today when storms happen, and of course get it out to you guys and do that coverage and do the maps, push notifications, everything we can. Maybe a little chaotic here, maybe a late night for us across Hail Trace here at the Hail Palace, because again, even after all this, there's that chance later on tonight when storms form down into central and southern Texas, so that things could be going pretty late into the night here. All right, we have quite a bit of comments coming through, and I have missed a bunch of them. Okay, Southwest Missouri, Joplin area. I'm going to bring up the map again before I go into the models while I answer some of these questions for you guys. There we go. All right, so map's on here so you guys can see. Southwest Missouri, Joplin, asked Joel. I'm saying probably about the same idea as the Tulsa area, about 20%. Instead of saying the time that I had, add about an hour to it. So if I said, God, what did I say? Like 3 to 5, 3 to 7, something like that. Say like 4 to 8, so a little bit later, a little further to the east. Let's see, San Antonio, late tonight after 10 p.m. for sure. And again, 5% chance, just because that questionable. Some are showing storms firing it like Austin, some are showing it down by San Antonio, some are showing it at all of them. So we have to just kind of hedge our bets a little bit and keeping the chances low, just because San Antonio is this big old dot with lots of people, but all around it there's like nothing. So we got to kind of play with that. All right, Gun Barrel City, Texas. I don't know where that is. So if you can tell me where that is, Billy, that'd be great. Nothing for Fort Worth. No, I'm not saying nothing for Fort Worth. I'm saying storms may form on top of Fort Worth. That's all. When I say Dallas, for reference, when I say Dallas, I'm referring to the entire Metroplex. It's just easier to say Dallas instead of Dallas-Fort Worth. It's a little bit more of a mouthful. Okay, keep Derek away so we get hail. Well, Derek is down here in Orlando right now, and he is going to be there for a good chunk of today. He won't be back here till tonight. So a lot of this activity is supposed to be during the day. So maybe just Derek being away is the good luck that you guys need. Laredo, again, I do not think Laredo, Eagle Pass, possibly Eagle Pass. I think there might be a couple storms that form on the other side of the border and cross over north of McAllen. I think that's around where Eagle Pass is. So that's possible. Blast Dallas, of course. Nothing for Houston. Houston, I have a pretty low chance. I think it's going to be a squall line by the time it gets to you guys. So that's really going to minimize that hail threat. Over and over says very possible, then shows 15%. Not very possible. 15% is good. These percentages, I'm predicting for an exact point in a map for storms. So I very rarely go over things such as even 40%. So 15%, it's a pretty good chance of seeing at least quarter-size hail in your city. So that's why these percentages seem kind of low. It's just it's hard to forecast a specific storm going over a specific point. The pretty good chances are over 20%. So anyway, Houston 60%. Thanks, John. How's Omaha looking for hail? The biggest question I have for Omaha is, are they going to form on top of you, or are they going to form just to your east? My chances are lower than other cities because there's that shot that it'll happen just to the east of Omaha, and that obviously would take Omaha out of the equation. Chicago, nothing for Chicago today, nothing for Chicago tomorrow, I don't think, in terms of hail. I think it's going to be just to your south tomorrow. I will show you guys tomorrow's chances now. I'm going to speed through here all the local forecasts that I showed already. You guys have seen this. If you haven't, you can go back and watch it. Here's our area of concern for Saturday. I don't have a full map for this yet. The biggest question, of course, is going to be how today plays out. We have a big squall line moving through tonight. Then that will kill our threat a lot tomorrow for hail. But if it kind of dies out, we don't have a whole lot of convection going, a lot of rain in the morning tomorrow to kind of wipe out the stuff, then yes, there's that chance for Alabama. I think tomorrow in Alabama, especially south of Birmingham, I think you could see supercells firing ahead of the line of storms that are moving through, even if there are storms. So I think at the very least, Alabama, the southern half of Alabama, has that chance of seeing some hail tomorrow. Further north, I have parts of Illinois and Indiana involved. I think the big low pressure center, the big reason why this is even happening is I'm moving pretty close to that area, and usually there's some hailers in that area. Not anything crazy, no baseballs or anything, but I think we could see, at the very least, see some quarter up to golf ball size hail in there. That's our area for Saturday. Again, all the way through here. We'll have a full forecast for this tomorrow when we get a better idea, a better image of what we're expecting for storms, whether it's going to be just a line of storms that minimizes hail, or if it's going to be more isolated in nature, and that will really affect the hail. And then I know my computer's a little bit in the way. Area concern for Sunday, it moves forward to the Carolinas, Georgia, and into Florida. And again, same basic story as tomorrow, different day, different area. Gonna have to see how things play out tonight and tomorrow. Again, it all kind of domino effects as we move forward here. So I think we're gonna have a lot to talk, potentially a ton going on the next few days. Or it's going to be mostly today and then kind of peter out a little bit hail-wise anyway. I think wind and tornadoes are definitely a possibility tomorrow, especially going into the rest of our weekend. So with that, I'm going to show the models now, just show you guys a little bit of what the high-resolution models, the HRRR, are showing, just so you can get that nice visual of what we're looking at for the remainder of today. Let me bring up screen display real quick. And get on here, let's not look at myself. And this is the HRRR, the most recent HRRR. We've got a whole bunch going on. 25% Dallas, hello Dallas, here, Chicago. No, nothing for Chicago, I don't think. All right, so here we go. Whoops, I skipped ahead here. This is the way it's running the HRRR. I'll also show the NAM, the 3cam NAM as well. Moving forward, and you see storms here firing. This is approximately 2 o'clock. They fire in Kansas. They fire here's Tulsa is right there, and it looks like they're firing very, very close to Tulsa. They see them firing very, very close to Omaha down here, and then you see them firing basically on top of the Metroplex. They're at about 3 o'clock. They're moving through Tulsa, and then they continue to move into parts of southwestern Missouri. You see storms trying to go through the Kansas City area. They're moving into Iowa, down to over by Des Moines. A whole mess of activity here in Arkansas and over by Texarkana, again over the Dallas area. Keep pushing forward and see more and more activity. It looks like another line of storm area of storms possible near the Omaha area, and again, all moving forward. And once you get later in the evening, things kind of transition away from isolated storms, more of a blobby mess. And I have to actually now move further south so I can show the southern half of our risk area today. Here we go. Again, this is composite reflectivity with the updrafts in there. So the little black things you're seeing, the little black like paths are basically just where the strongest updrafts are. And you see, I don't really think that's going to happen, but move forward, you see the stuff in the Dallas area kind of moves further south, possibly a couple different areas of storms that move through. Activity moving into Shreveport, and then look at that, you get about 4Z, about 10 p.m. Here's right around in here somewhere is Austin is in here in this area around there. I don't remember what the county exactly looks like off the top of my head, but it shows storms firing. And then right here is San Antonio area, and it has all these storms going up again. This is tonight. This is late after 10 o'clock, possibly this is right around midnight. We got storms going up, and then some real big bad boys down here in southern Texas. And we're going to have to kind of watch and see where they go and see how they form and continue, if they're going to be big hailers, if they're going to be more wind-driven. Let's see. Okay, 16Z has started to come out as well. I haven't seen this one yet. This has been coming out while I've been doing the video here. And so we'll see. This is what the latest model has. Got more of the same? Yeah, more of the same. Again, storms firing pretty much over the Dallas area, all the way up. This one really wants the dry line to go up. A whole lot of activity here in Oklahoma, all the way down and into Dallas area. So I'm expecting the dry line to fire. And yeah, man, boy. Again, I haven't seen this yet, so I'm looking at this the first time myself. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of activity here today, guys. I think it's going to be a busy day, for sure. They move through the Dallas area, moves on through. And I'm going to show South Central now, showing most of Texas. So we move through here again, storms fire, move through the Dallas area, and then look at that, yeah, more storms. Oh, my camera die? Nope, more storms trying to go up. This one doesn't seem to want San Antonio, but it wants Austin. For sure wants Austin. That's a pretty good storm. So again, a lot of activity possible today and a bunch of different population centers for you guys. So that is, might be a real busy day here. Make sure you have those notifications turned on, guys. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you guys the 3-cam NAM as well. This one has a hard time really showing isolated storms. It tends to just turn everything into lines. It's just a weird bias that this model has. So you take things with a grain of salt. Where it's shown the lines, that's more supercellular activity. And the 3-cam NAM doesn't really want anything in Dallas, which is weird because the HRRR, the one I've been showing you, has been extremely aggressive with that. So the 3-cam NAM has not done as well this year, so I'm hedging my bets more on towards the HRRR, which has nailed it a few times more recently. So you have a couple things in the Dallas area, and then this one still has storms trying to fire over by the Austin area as well, and continuing to move east. Tomorrow, big question is going to be what is going to happen with all these storms that form. 3-cam NAM wants things to become a line and come roaring through tomorrow, and this would be not that much in the way of hail. This would be more wind and tornadoes, but it's really hard to see. It's hard to really put a lot of stock into a model when you have to have one thing going to happen first before you can really start looking ahead at the next thing, because it's very possible you don't get all those squall lines to move through, and if you don't have the squall lines, then suddenly that changes the whole game for the next day. People are asking about Chicago. I do not think Chicago is really going to see much in the way of anything in terms of hail either today or tomorrow. I know there was that storm that moved through the Wisconsin area earlier this morning. It was like 35 degrees and hailing. Well, I don't think that's going to be so lucky for the Chicago area. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be to your south a little too much for anything exciting on that one. I'm going to switch in. We got another hour in here on the HRRR. I'm going to roll this to the end here. That's trying to keep firing stuff down by San Antonio. Yeah, so Austin and San Antonio, these are the two cities that I'm going to have to really be careful to not forget about and watch, because I think there is that chance that we're going to see some activity tonight where we might be kind of tired, and like I've already gone over a bunch of other storms that may have happened, so we got to be careful about that. We'll be watching again. We'll be here watching it. I'll be here as late as we need. I got a bunch of food and some energy drinks around this time. I'll be here to stream and do everything we can to make sure we're on top of everything and getting that information out to you all throughout today and into tonight. So with the all right. Okay, Houston area again. I think the big question for Houston is all this activity that forms tonight will actually manage to meander to Houston by morning, really. I think, again, I'm keeping that percentage at 2% for just marginally severe hail. I think the chances are pretty low for Houston. If you want to see bigger hail, you've got to get to the other sides of the Texas Triangle. So, all right, I'm going to look at current conditions at the moment real fast. Okay, nothing severe at the moment. And I think we will wrap this up. I'll be back. I'll definitely be back later on today for more coverage. St. Louis, Missouri. I do not think St. Louis is really going to, I think St. Louis is going to be stuck in between the two. So this was what I have for tomorrow's area concern. It's just the east of St. Louis, and today's forecast is just the west of St. Louis. I think they're in that unfortunate middle ground where they're probably not going to see too much today. So St. Louis, I think, again, pretty low chance. And with that, if you have any further questions, be sure to put it in the comments section below. If you're watching this not live, you're watching this after the fact, of course, put the questions you may have in there, and we will try to answer them as quickly as we can. Make sure you follow our page and hit see first so your videos pop up at the top of the news feed, especially when we start doing live coverage. That's not a scheduled time to come in at noon every day. This is just going to be whenever storms go. And you miss that push notification because you're busy, you're on your phone, you have Do Not Disturb on or whatever. You want to make sure you don't miss our live coverage or miss any maps that we may make. If you hit see first, it pops up top of your newsfeed, and you don't have to worry about that at least on Facebook's end of things. And any other questions you have, any inquiries about our service, or any more specific weather questions you have, you can give us a call. The number here on the screen, 855-334-4245. You can email us, info@hailtrace.com, with any questions you have. And you can visit our website, hailtrace.com. Hopefully you can answer some questions about our products there. And any other further questions you may have, intercom is in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Click on that, and you can send a message to us, instant messenger style, and it'll send it to the whole staff. So we'll be able to answer your questions in a timely manner in that as well. So that's all I have for you guys for right now. We will be back with continuing live coverage whenever anything starts moving into a major populated area. Of course, the big question is going to be how many storms are going to be going at the same time. I'm going to have to split my time a little bit between doing this and actually mapping and helping out Heather and Frank. So I will be limiting live coverage pretty much exclusively to when we're imminently about to hit a major population center with hail. I'm sure it'll happen today just based on the what's at risk. So I'll be back later for that live coverage. Make sure those notifications are turned on so you don't miss that. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day if I don't see you. And I'll see you again tomorrow.